Hi, good morning. I'm Jennifer Dwyer. I'm teaching for Tribe Yoga today. Happy to be here. It's a nice fall morning. And I'm just making sure the video is on. Okay. I'm outside again because my kids were playing Monopoly in my living room, and it's a mess with all kinds of games out because my daughter misplaced her iPad and we actually just found it. So anyhow, it's a beautiful day. We'll be doing a yoga sequence to create space in the side body, and that when we use the breath to create space and length, it allows our nervous system to regulate and lower our heart rate, bring a little bit more space and breath to connect more with the mind, the body, and the breath in our yoga practice. So Tribe is a nonprofit organization that brings tools of yoga to the military, and I am coming to you from the Hudson Valley of New York, and I'm glad that you're here or watching at another time. Nothing special is needed. I do have some blocks just because I'd like to show you options, and this practice is your own, so move in a way that feels comfortable for you. We will begin with a couple of minutes of conscious breathing. It's called the 4-part breath or square breath. There's different names for it. I work in healthcare, and I was a critical care nurse and now anesthesiology for many years. And working with the breath can really bring you down for some clarity, and if you're in a stressful situation, or just taking one conscious breath even can slow things down and bring you back to the present moment. Okay, so let's begin by finding a comfortable seat. You can sit on a pillow or wherever makes you feel supported. Just take a moment here to notice the support of the ground underneath you. Tailbone down and length up to the crown of your head. Just natural breathing right now, just settling in, softening your neck and your shoulders. Maybe your palms are face down, resting on your lap. And we'll begin with the square breath. So I'll just explain it before I start. We'll inhale for a count of 4, pause for 4, exhale for a count of 4, and then hold. If at any point it's uncomfortable, you can go at your own pace. There's no rules, just follow along in a way that feels right. Okay. First, we'll just take a long, slow, deep breath in. Maybe the shoulders come up, and then exhale. Let that go, release. And we'll begin this square breath. So inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, again, inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. We'll take a long, slow breath in. We'll take a little break here. These crows are being very noisy. They're practicing too. And then we'll exhale, release. And we'll do that again with this 4-part breath. We'll inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. Again, inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. One more time. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. And exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. And just allow natural breathing to return. Breathing in softly through your nose. Noticing the ground underneath you. Softening your shoulders and your jaw. It's actually warming up now, so I'm going to take this off. And so we'll begin by bringing the right shin parallel in front of you and the left knee bent. Your left sit bone will be lifted, so the right hip is down, which you can see me. If you need a pillow or a cushion for support, that's totally good. And so we'll just begin with some side stretches. So on your inhale, left arm reaches up and over to the right. And then exhale, release. Right arm lifts up on the inhale. And then exhale, release. Maybe flex your hands here. Inhale, stretching over to the right. Feeling the breath come in through the side ribs. Release. And then inhale, right arm lifts. Maybe feel the breath moving up through the right side. And release. And on this inhale, press your right palm down and maybe a little forward of your shoulder and lift your hips. Inhale, with side plank here. Exhale, slowly release. And then we'll stretch the other side on your inhale. And then release. Inhale, press down through your shin as your hips lift up, arm reaches overhead, and we'll hold here. Navel to your spine, lower ribs tuck in, shoulder down so the arm plugs into your shoulder. And then we'll slowly release. Just stretch over to the other side. Right arm reaches up and over your ear. Soften your breathing. And then we'll just come to a spinal twist. So left hand to your right knee and just gently maybe look over to the forward of your right hip. Maybe just gently shaking your head, no and yes. Shoulders down and the collarbone spread here. And then we'll twist the other direction. So right hand to right knee, left arm reaches behind for just a gentle twist in the other direction. Shoulders down. Navel to your spine as if there's an invisible hand, just gently tucking in so your belly buttons to your spine. Take one more breath here. And then we'll come to the other side, so the left shin in front, right foot with flex behind you. Make sure you can see me here, so shin parallel in front. It's okay, this hip is up off the ground. That's expected. And then we'll just begin that side stretch again on this side. So on the inhale, stretch over to your right. Left arm reaches up overhead. And then exhale, release. Right arm on the inhale lifts, noticing that the breath initiates the movement here. And then inhale, left arm reaches up and over. Breath washing up through your side ribs. Release, and then other side. Right arm lifts up and over for side stretch. And release. Left arm up and over. And then release, and on this time press your fingers spread wide, press into your left palm as your hips lift up. Left shin lifts, so then this is a side plank, right arm up and over. And soften your eyes, your neck, We'll hold here for another breath. And then we'll release and stretch over to the right. We'll do that one more time. So left palm down and press into your palm as you lift your hips forward. Right arm lifts up and over. We'll hold here. Soften your breathing. And we'll slowly release and come back to that spinal twist. One more twist over to your right side, and then we'll come to a twist, so right hand to left knee, gently twisting over to your left, maybe just looking down by your left hip a little bit forward, just holding here. Shoulder blades are draping down your back. And then we'll twist in the other direction, so left palm to left knee, right hand reaches around and behind for an open twist, shoulders down, navel to spine here. Good. Slowly release and come to tabletop for a few rounds of cat-cow. So knees under your hips, knees about hip width apart, toes tucked, fingers spread wide with the wrists underneath your shoulders. And on the inhale, belly drops, look forward for cow pose, gazing forward. And then exhale, round your spine for cat pose. We'll do that 2 more times on your inhale. Toes tucked, heart reaches forward as you gaze forward. Exhale, release, knee, belly to spine, round your back. Inhale, toes tuck, belly drops as your heart lifts. And then exhale, release, rounding the spine for cat pose. And then we'll extend the right leg long, the one leg plank, so toes flexed, just gently rocking back on your heel here. On your inhale, left arm reaches forward, navel to spine. And then option to lift that right leg up, pressing right hand, the fingers are spread, weight under your thumb and forefinger. Good, so toes point, and your right foot to the left hand, breathe here. And then knee and elbow crunch in on the exhale, inhale, release, left hand and right foot long, and then exhale. Knee to nose, elbow draws in. One more time. Extend. Exhale. Elbow and knee curl in. And then we'll release with the right foot extended, toes on the ground. And we'll turn so that you're facing the long way here. So right leg long. Left knee underneath your hip. Light. I just want to show you, if you use blocks, blocks are a great option, and I love the cork blocks because they're heavy. I'll just show you, it's not necessary, but it's nice to take the weight off your wrists, to have a block in side plank here. Lifting up the right arm, maybe gazing up at your right hand. And then hand over your ear, bicep over your ear. And then we'll lift up to gate pose here. And then exhale, left arm reaches up and over. And we'll do a flow with that. So inhale, back to center, and exhale for side plank. Inhale, center, and then exhale. Left arm reaches up and over, noticing the breath traveling through your side. Inhale, center. Exhale for side plank. And then we'll hold here. Collarbones are spread, so chest is open. Option to lift this right leg up for balance. You can play around here, maybe bending that knee, making this your practice. We'll just hold here for another breath or two. And then we'll slowly return facing the front of your mat for down dog. So left foot lifts up to meet the right. Hips reach up and back as the arms reach forward. Fingers spread. Weight under your palm by the thumb and first finger to take the weight off your wrists. We'll stay here for a few breaths in down dog, maybe pedaling out the feet, gently shaking your head side to side. Lower ribs tuck in and navel to spine, so you're gazing back towards your shins and your feet. And then we'll slowly release. We'll do one more cat-cow. I'm turning so that when we do the other direction, I'm facing you, not this way. So cat-cow on the inhale, toes flexed, gazing forward, arching your back, and then on the exhale, round your spine, chin to chest, navel to spine. Good. Then we'll come back to tabletop here. Extend your left leg long. For one-legged plank, so right knee is under the hip. You can even gaze down to see your toes on the ground here so the hips are even. Just bringing awareness to where you are on the ground. Fingers spread with the wrists underneath your shoulders. On your inhale, right arm reaches forward. So from the left heel up to the right hand. Breathing. Option on your inhale to lift that left leg up, toes pointed, and extend back. For balance, tricky cat. And then inhale, reaching long. Exhale, draw your elbow and knee to nose, crunching in. Inhale, release, arm and leg extend. And then exhale, draw your elbow and knee to nose. One more time, inhale, release. Exhale, crunch in your knee and elbow to nose. Extend your left leg long, toes flexed here. And we'll slowly turn so you're facing the long way. Left foot down with the foot in line with the knee. I like using the block for this, so I'm just going to bring it onto this side with the hand maybe a little forward of your shoulder here for side plank. Inhale, lift your left arm up. And so the collarbones are spread, the chest is open, maybe gazing up at that left hand. And then exhale, draw the hand over, arm over your ear for side plank here. And then on the inhale, using your core as you lift, so lifting up on the inhale, coming to gate pose. And then exhale, right arm reaches over to the side. And we'll hold here for another breath before we flow. So the lower ribs and belly tuck in. The knees underneath your hip here. And next inhale, arms reach long in T position, and then exhale for side plank. Inhale, lift up, and then exhale to gate pose, softening your neck and jaw, and then inhale, release, back to center. And I just want to take a moment before we flow again, just to wrap maybe your right hand around your left ribs and left around the right, just to notice your breath here. Maybe just noticing with that flow movement, just feeling maybe the ribs as you inhale expand into your hands. And then on the exhale, they softly release back to center. And maybe even add a little pause like we did in the beginning on at the top of your inhale. And then exhale, slowly release. Good. So then we'll come back down to that side plank and return facing the front of your mat. The left toes flexed, and then the right leg meets the left for downward dog. So lift your hips up and back, and maybe pedal out your feet, making whatever movements feel comfortable. Arms reach long with the fingers spread. The shoulder blades draw back so the elbow creases spin forward by your ears. And then we'll roll forward to plank on your inhale. So shoulders over the wrists. And then exhale, hips lift up and back for downward dog. We'll do that one more time. Roll forward on the inhale into plank. And then exhale, downward dog. And then we'll bring our knees down a little wider than hips for a child pose. So the hips reach back towards your heels as the arms reach forward. Forehead may be on a block or on the ground. Just softening here. Maybe noticing the breath, maybe in the behind your heart, maybe in the back body, as the ribs expand on the inhale. And then soften and release, exhale. Stay here for a few more breaths. Good. Come back to tabletop here. So wrists under the shoulders. And just gently knees under the hips. And then on your inhale, we'll step the left leg through. I'm going to face the other direction here actually. So left leg steps through for a low lunge and then lift the right leg long. On the inhale, actually I'm going to face the other way, I'm sorry. Left leg, knee over the ankle, and then draw the left arm up for a side twist here. And then option here to add on, we'll roll onto the outer edge of your right foot and heel toe that left foot forward so the knee is over the ankle in a side plank. So hips lift up, firming your outer hips and hugging your navel to your spine for a side plank with this knee bent. Finding your breath here. Again, the collarbones spread so chest is open and navel to spine. And then we'll slowly release, heel toeing that foot back and around, and come back to downward dog. Pedaling out your feet, maybe shaking the hips a little bit from side to side, releasing the hips, lengthening the back of your neck, making whatever movements feel comfortable, fingers spread wide. And then we'll slowly drop the knees down back into the tabletop position. And I'm going to come around to face the other direction. So we'll step the right leg through and lift the back leg for a low lunge. So right heel flexed, right knee over the ankle. And then on the inhale, right arm lifts up for side plank, side twist. The plank variation coming. Your option to stay here if you'd like to add on. You can roll onto the outer edge of your left foot and heel toe the right so that the knee is over the ankle facing the long way on your mat. So the left hip is lifting, so the core is strong, navel to your spine. Right arm lifts up. Good. Stay here for another breath. Always option to come out and go to child pose or a down dog. And we'll slowly, carefully transition back. The right knee over the ankle and step back for downward dog. We'll stay here for another breath. Maybe pedaling out your feet. Knees can be very bent. And then we'll tiptoe, walking to the front of your mat for a forward fold. Maybe holding opposite elbows and swaying a little bit. Chin tucks in. It's getting warm here now. So just gently draping over in a forward fold here. It's amazing, it just gets very warm. But the mornings are cold. It was really cold originally, now it's getting very warm. So just gently maybe swaying a little bit. And then pressing down through your feet. Knees bent will gently roll up. With the head the last to come up to a Tadasana mountain pose. Palms together at your heart. Shoulders down. Navel tucked in here. We'll move into one more sequence with the side plank. And first we'll come into a chair pose. So hips sit back, so tailbone back, so you're light on your toes for chair pose here. Navel to spine. And maybe even like a little balance here, rocking on the heels and toes. Balancing maybe on the ball of your foot. And then we'll do a little flow here. Inhale, lift up. Palms face the sky, and then exhale for chair, and then release with the arms coming down behind you, almost like a diving board. Inhale for chair pose here. One more breath. And then exhale, come to stand, like a little back bend. Palms see the sky. And then exhale for chair. And coming into a little balance here. Playing around. And then we'll just forward fold. And then step your right and left leg back. We'll come to a tabletop again. We'll come into a full side plank if you wish, or we'll come back to the first option of extending the left leg back in that one leg in plank, and then turning so that the right hand under a little forward of your shoulder. We're in this modified side plank. And then option to come into a full plank by having the right leg meet the left, so gently pressing down through your left foot and palm as the right foot meets the left, hugging the outer hips in. There's also options instead of this full plank to bring the left foot forward like we did earlier with the knee over the ankle. Options to play here. Maybe even this leg behind you. And taking a few moments here just to come to your version of side plank. Maybe a tree pose with the side plank. It's okay to wobble and fall out. You can always come back and begin again. And then we'll slowly release. Just taking a moment to sit back on our heels. This is actually a good stretch for the feet with the toes flexed. And maybe opening, closing your hands. Gently rolling your wrists. Good. And then we'll come to the other side. So extend the right leg long with the toes flexed, left knee under the hip, and we'll rotate so you're facing the long way with the right leg extended into this modified side plank. Again, block is optional. Just first finding our alignment here. So the fingers spread on your left hand, the weight under the thumb and first finger, the padding under your thumb to protect your wrists. And then option to, as you press through your palm with the core hugged in, left foot meets the right for a full side plank here. And you can add whatever variations feel comfortable. The right knee in the front. So the left hip lifts up. This whole core is hugging in, navel to spine. Making whatever movements feel comfortable. For me, side plank is different every time I do it. It's always fun to play around and try different variations. Neck lengthened and jaw soft. Good. And then we'll slowly, when you're ready, come out and do a little cat-cow here. Just light on your hands. And inhale. Belly drops as your chest lifts. Tuck your toes, and then exhale. Gently round your spine. Maybe making some hip circles gently here. So it's like the tailbone is just drawing a gentle circle in one direction a few times, and then the other. Just releasing your hips. Good. And let's gently come back to a child pose. So heels, hips back towards your heels. You can have a blanket or a block under your head. And I just recommend for this child pose, your arms could be however you wish, but I like the elbows bent in a prayer position. So the forehead gently rests down, palms touch behind your head with the elbows bent for just a more restful child pose. And just softening your breath, noticing where the breath is traveling, not trying to change it or judge it, just noticing. Noticing if there's a little bit more space and the breath flows just a little more freely. So your hips draw back. Good. And then we'll just do a few minutes of cool down here before we close. Gentle Badakanasana, so soles of your feet touch, and you can sit up on a blanket or cushion of sort if that's more comfortable. Just gently letting the hips open here, and then you don't have to round all the way down, but just gently drawing forward so elbows hug in, chin to your chest, and just taking a few breaths here. Slowly draw your knees in and just windshield wiper your knees from side to side so feet are about hip width apart, and gently drop your knees to one side and then the other. Just gently rocking from side to side, making the movements maybe a little bigger if that feels good. And then we'll slowly make our way onto our back. And just gently release down. Just maybe gently hugging your knees in, maybe a little space between your knees. And maybe making those little circles again, massaging your sacrum, just gently rolling in one direction and then the other. And then left sole of the foot on the ground with the knee bent, and cross the right ankle over the left thigh for just an open hip stretch here. Option to lift the leg for a figure four stretch, holding onto the back of the thigh or the shin if that's available. Just softly breathing here, noticing your shoulders stamped down so your whole torso connected with the ground underneath you. I used to think of the torso as just being like the waist area, really from your shoulders down to your hips, as if you have a fitted mattress, a mattress sheet down. That's that visual I could relate to, just of having your whole torso down on the ground. And then we'll slowly release. Right knee bent with the sole of the foot on the ground, cross your left ankle over your thigh and opening up the left hip here. option to add on and lift that right leg up, holding onto the back of the thigh or the shin, just for an open hip stretch. And we'll gently hug both knees in, and for a gentle spinal twist, knees drop over to the right, arms can be in goalpost position, maybe gently nodding the head from side to side, or finding stillness. And if thoughts come in, just let them go like clouds in the sky. Just gently acknowledge them and release without adding on. And then slowly twist over to the left, so knees drop over to the left. Arms can be in T position or gold post. And then you can close with the short Shavasana. You can have your legs extended with the feet falling out to the side, palms face up, or if you wish to have knees bent with the knees touching each other in constructive rest. This is very nice. I just want to show you what I do a lot on my own at home. I have a yoga blanket that I drape over my knees or over your thighs, just to allow the legs to kind of just settle. Just finding a few moments of stillness to integrate all of the practice that we did. Softening the back of your head and the jaw. And you can have one palm on your heart and belly, or arms long, however you're comfortable. Just taking a few moments to settle in and connect to the ground. Feeling yourself land on the support of the ground underneath you. Maybe even relaxing about 10% more, just letting go and releasing. I'm just going to move up. I want to play a quick song if I'm able to, and we'll close in just a moment. I'm not sure if this will go, but we'll try it. Stillness here, taking the next few minutes for yourself to just settle. Just softening your breath and your body. Rest on the ground. Support underneath you, hold you. Turn down the music, so we'll close. You can stay however you're positioned for as long as you like. For closing, I just want to take a deep breath, bringing the arms around and up, gathering all that energy and space, and palms together at your heart. Thank you for joining me today. I'll be here next Thursday at 9 a.m. again for another about 30-40 minute practice. I just wanted to close with a quote that I have that I need to practice for myself. I was integrating the theme of space in our bodies, and not only space in our yoga practice, but as we step out into our day off of our mat. So Viktor Frankl writes that between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response, and in our response lies our growth and our freedom. Thank you for being here. If you're watching later, have a great day or evening. Namaste.